This is an honest review of the immersive Van Gogh experience in San Francisco. Depending on when you go, your ticket prices will be different. I chose the off-peak flex ticket. The flex just meant that I could go into the museum 2 hours before the time that's on my ticket and stay 2 hours after. Now, there was a vaccine notification for San Francisco, meaning we had to bring a proof of our vaccination or proof of a negative COVID test in order to go in. They didn't check it that closely, but you did have to have something to show them, because I did see somebody get turned away. They did not match my name on the vaccination card to my ID or even the name on my ticket. But you did have to have something to show them. Now, once you go inside, it is not a gallery where you walk around and see various moving art. It is one room that you sit in for the whole entire show. They do have chairs there available, sort of all around. You could, as long if no one's using one, you can grab it and move it to a spot that you would like to sit in the room, and you're going to watch the entire experience in one room. I thought it was like a moving museum, but it was not. The entire show is 35 minutes long from beginning to end, and it just plays on a loop. So if you go in halfway, like when we went in, I think it was about halfway, because about 15 minutes later, it came to the end of the show. We waited a few seconds, and then it replayed from the beginning again. We did not stay more than that one loop, and I don't know how many people would feel the need to really stay beyond that first 35-minute loop. The beginning was really amazing because it starts with the famous sunflowers, and it's breathtaking and it's really beautiful. It ends very nicely as well, because it ends with the Starry Night, and the entire time you're kind of waiting for the Starry Night to come in. I will say everything in between, about 20 minutes of that middle part of the show, there were parts that were just boring. I didn't find that it was really his best art. It was just, a lot of fields, and yes, things are moving and there's sound and there's things on the walls, but sort of the novelty of the fact that the art is moving, you kind of get over that, I feel like, after the first part, like the first 10 minutes or so. So by the time the whole thing ends, you definitely feel like you're ready to go. I went with my parents, and we're actually fans of Van Gogh's art. When we were in France together, we visited his famous home, and that had his artwork, and saw his past and read about his whole life, and that's why we drove the 2 hours to go. But despite being fans and appreciating his artwork, none of us felt the need to stay longer than that first 35-minute loop. So the big question, is it worth going to see? So I think at $55 an adult, I think that's too steep for what we got. I would say it's still worth it at $50 or less if you live locally. If you live locally, or you have visitors who are in the city and you want to do something kind of kitschy, something different and touristy, this would be an easy way to not, spend about an hour of your time. However, if you have to drive anything more than 20 minutes to get to this show, and certainly in San Francisco, don't forget that you're gonna have to pay parking on top of it. And it was very difficult to find parking in this area. It was absolutely not worth traveling in to see. I think when I got the tickets, what I was expecting was kind of a museum experience that was upgraded, because it was moving art and it had music and everything was on the walls. It was not that. There was nothing museum-like about this place. It was like almost like a warehouse. Thankfully, they have plenty of bathrooms, but as soon as you walk in, you fully understand from the motif and how everything is set up that this is a tourist trap. It truly is. There was nothing nice or arty or classic about the place. It was just like a warehouse with really sort of tacky decorations everywhere. The show itself, if you limit it just to the show, it was just fine. The first 10 minutes I thought was amazing. The last 5 minutes, very amazing. The middle was just completely, to me, just okay. Not I wouldn't say forgettable, but it was just okay. To me, it is about a $35 show that someone can do if you happen to be fans and you have a lazy afternoon that you want to, just kind of spend doing something other than being home. It is not an event that you necessarily should be making big plans over or be driving to go out of your way to go to. Truly, it really is not. And that's just really the honest truth. So overall, if I had to give it a grade, I would give it a B minus. And that's been quite generous. So I'll just leave you with my favorite moments from the show with the sound for you to hear. Thanks, everyone.